Soundstripe.
Alright, so here we go. Start of week 3 on the LS Swap. Week 2, didn't get much done. I had a lot going on with the 41 and getting ready for the car show and everything like that. That's over. I think there's one more car show this weekend, the 14th. I'm not sure, and I should be the 14th. And that'll be the decision if, see who wins the Mustang they're giving away at the Knox Street Thunder, which if I win that, I'm selling it right there on the square. I don't want no Ford, but get that thing sold. That'll help fund more of the Travelall build, which I'm working on right now with trying to get a bunch of sponsors. It's going to be a lot harder than I remember it being, which usually before I just sent out like mass emails. A good friend of mine, well, I've never met the guy, but he's awesome. Not going to name names, but he used to be on TV doing big time shows for hot rods and stuff like that. So my arms are falling asleep. Oh god, this phone gets heavy. But yeah, week 3 starts, and we need to start by getting this motor in, like completely in, today. It's getting cold, it's wet, it sucks. So we need to start busting hump real good and getting it done, basically. What I need to do is I need to paint the front pulley, which is no big deal. I can paint it after it's in there, really. Probably will paint it after it's in there, the crank pulley. But I've already got the motor mounts in. They're already done down there. There we go. It's hard to point at stuff like that. But the trans mount, I'm going to wait and put it on after I get the motor in because the bolt holes don't line up. That's how things are. But I just remembered I need to tighten that passenger side mount. I ain't got it tightened all the way. But I need to put that in the rest of the way, drop the motor in, and then from that point, I need to start working on things like, where am I going to take the wiring? Where do I want to take it through the firewall, put it inside? I don't know. I'll have to ask the owner, but I'll find out. Like if he wants the computer mounted inside the truck and everything like that. Keep the engine bay as clean as possible. My fuel line set hasn't arrived yet. He ordered some not custom valve covers, but some black wrinkle Chevy valve covers that hides the coils, so I gotta wait on those to get here. But that's all like finish work. The fuel lines aren't. The fuel lines I would like to have ran before I actually put the motor in, but well, I guess I can see if he got them today. If he got them, then I'm pretty sure it's at October 27th, which is a long time still. But anyway, let's get busy. Let's get this motor in and yeah, hurry up and get this truck done. Well, I got the motor mounts out and I painted the pulley and the bolt heads for the motor mounts. But it is so cold the paint's not drying. This sucks. And I can't really put the motor in until the paint dries. So I'm sort of screwed here. Luckily it's supposed to be 70 tomorrow, so I think I'm just gonna pack it in for today, and then tomorrow I'll just put the motor in. It's just too cold to, wait for that paint to dry. I don't have anything else to paint that I need on the motor right now. So sort of wish I would have did it yesterday, but I didn't get home till about 3 o'clock yesterday from the parade and car show, and at that point I was wore out. I actually took a nap and then still went to bed about 12:30. So, but yeah, I'll just come back out here tomorrow. It's too cold to even function for me right now. I'm not used to the cold yet. This is the first day of cold, so yeah. But beforehand, I'm going to make sure there's nothing else I need to paint before it goes under there. And I don't think there is. I did get the motor mount bolted in where I wanted it. So yeah. It appears to be all for right now. I'm just cold. Alright, so I've got the mounts on the motor now. After everything's dried. I'm going to have to put the truck back down because I got it on jack stands right now, in order to get the motor up high enough, and then I have to put it at a steep angle to get it to go down just like that. You know, it's got to go like this. It's got to be about at a 45 to get it in there, and I don't think I can do it with the truck up in the air. I think it's just too high up. So I'll have to drop the truck down, which sucks because I have to have it up in the air in order to get the trans mount in the back. And I can't do that with it up in the air. So I'll have to play a magic trick here. And once I get the truck or the motor over into the truck, I'll have to jack the truck up again and then put the jack stands back under it, if the cherry picker will fit between there, to use my jack to jack up the tail shaft to level the engine out and bolt it in the motor mount. Yeah, so this is about to be a real big magic trick for me.
Sounds good.
Whew, this thing is kicking my butt. I broke my 3/8 impact driver for my drill, which sucks. But yeah, now I'm hand cranking, well, I was the whole time, this back to level. And if you saw, I dropped that socket off there. Bow, bow, bow. I'm going to have to do a little touch-up painting. But yeah, she's going now. I see something else I need to get out real quick. Lift that tape in there. There we go. Yeah. But she's fighting every single step of the way. And so I'm going to take me a little break here because it's kicking my butt. So basically I just said screw it, and it's in there. There's a ton of adjustability. These motor mounts could actually go that way on the lower mount bolts. Let me show you right there. And it can go back and forth. Now, it's all the way forward right now, which it don't look too bad. But I think I want to push it back. Like, I don't know, a little bit. Just enough. Well, I ain't sure yet. It does seem like it needs to go back, but at the same time, I don't know. It definitely needs to go to the left, but the oil or the trans fluid dipstick is sort of holding us all the way to the right. And I don't like that. So I might have to bend that dipstick a little, just push it over. Hopefully it don't break. Or pull it down, one or the other, to get it where I like it, to get the motor in the center of the mounts right there. But basically she's in, and it was a fight. If I had to do it over again, I would probably take the blower box completely off. It would make it so much easier. But it's in now, and the oranges seem to match pretty freaking good. Anywho, let's continue on now. Next step is going to be again adjusting the motor, but I'm going to take a break. Alright, so I went and got me a new bit. I've got the jack, or the cherry picker, out of the way. I've got a jack under the trans, and I got the front end jack back up. The motor mount bolts are tight now. And now I need to go around and tighten up the actual swap plates. But I probably need to drop it back down to do that, because it's really high. And I need to get really deep in there to get to them lower bolts. I already did the upper ones, but that one right there, got to get in there to get that one. Need to put the oil dipstick back on too before I forget about it. But yeah, it's in there. She's clearance slightly. But yeah, I got to get in there, move some stuff around, get it back down. So the sun's starting to go down now. Temperature's starting to drop quick. I've just been cleaning and painting parts. This is going to be black. That's already orange, of course. Need to get it on. I just got the intake sitting there just to see how it looks. Now, he did order black valve covers that hide the coils, so it's going to be black. The water pump, of course, is orange. This bracket is going to be black. Now, I haven't decided yet if the intake needs to be orange or if it needs to stay black. I'll figure that out as I go. But right now, I'm going to crawl up under here and see exactly what we need to do with this trans cross member. Squeeze me, and just ate. Squeeze me. But it is a universal setup, so I need to figure out where it's gonna go, what holes I'm gonna have to drill, and everything like that to get it to fit right. I'm just looking at it right now. I wanted to see something. I'm not quite sure which way I need to put it in. I almost feel like that's exactly how I need to put it in. 2 bolts. They don't really give you much room to tighten any bolts if you put it in either way. I mean, this is all you got to slide bolts in, and then it's going to be back here to get to tighten up, so it's going to suck. But I know I'm going to have to drill holes for the mount plates on the sides, because they don't fit good. Well, it's not that they don't fit good. One hole's there, the other hole's gone. So, anywho, let's get busy and yeah, let's check on this transmission, how it's gonna go, because I need to figure it out before I can set the truck down, like on the ground. I need that in. So that's my next step. So I got another coat on the bolts, which this black right here, this stuff sucks. Rust-Oleum, you guys screwed up on that one. It's like water. No matter how much you shake it or anything, it just sucks. I'm literally about to go get a completely different can of satin black to do everything else in, because it's that bad. Oh, I hate it. What else was there I had to show you? Oh, I just got done building my 220 extension cord. I use this for my welder. It's just a plug head on some hard wire. Easily handles 220. It's like 70 foot long. I don't need it that long. I actually could have done with like a 50 or even a 30. Been perfect. But I said, hey, I got all that wire. I'm not going to waste it. Just use it. Oh, what else was I going to show you guys? Oh, the motor's still sitting in there. I haven't touched it. Been still painting and adjusting stuff. Sucks. But, yeah. I'm going to let all this stuff dry tonight. The water pump's dry. It's in the back. Yeah. Put it on tomorrow. Probably have to touch up them bolts again. Yeah, look at this. That's like 4 coats on them bolts. And it's still just like running off. And that's got primer on them and everything. Sucks. I mean, it really sucks. Dollar store primer or dollar store paint does better than that. Come on, Rust-Oleum. That's a joke. Fix it. I needed to get my welder extension cord done because I have to do that back exhaust manifold stud. And there's a front and back one on this that has to be done. So I have to drag my welder out after I get the rear trans mount in. But I'll have to weld some nuts and pull them out. Yeah, tomorrow I need to clean, prime, and paint the alternator / power steering bracket. I need to put another coat on the tensioner bracket and paint it with that Rust-Oleum that's garbage. It's got 4 coats on it and it's still not covered. But yeah, I'm making some progress. Any progress is good progress. After I get the trans mount done and the truck back on the ground, things will go a little bit faster because then it'll all just be like bolt-on stuff. I do need to paint those still where I had the mount. But yeah. What else is there that I need to work on? We'll probably have to have the drive shaft cut. It's over there. Have to fit all the radiator and everything. I don't think there'd be a problem fitting the radiator. The only thing that might be tough is the air, cold air intake. Because here's the edge of the radiator. The throttle body is going to stop like right there. So it's going to have to be like a hard 90 to get over here. And that motor's all the way back. So, yeah. And we're going to have to find a 102 millimeter air intake too, which is going to be fun. But yeah, parts are getting done, getting out. The harness is nothing. That'll be easy peasy. I'll have to pull the injectors and stuff off of the old intake to put on the new intake and get it complete after I make sure it's either staying black or going orange. These eBay headers are really worrying me too. So I haven't tested them or nothing yet. But yeah, I'm getting worried by them. So I figured I'd take a second to make a quick little video. I need to get this trans mount in first today. But it's cold, so I got the heat out. So, you know, you're not going to be able to hear much once I start hammering that thing in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a jack stand and a block of wood. Put it underneath that trans, because this is right on the mount. And I kind of need, you know, that mount to slide the trans mount under. But anyway, I need to bolt them together. These ones. Put it on the actual transmission. Bolt it on. So I can adjust it where it needs to be. But I do know I need to cut the exhaust off too. Back at least, I'm going to give myself quite a bit behind the actual mount holes. Because it's going to have to be refit anyway. Because it's got shorty headers and stuff like that. So, yeah. First things first though. It's cold. Let's go check the temperature real quick. I don't like being cold when I work. I can't stand it. Yeah. It's like 59 degrees. Sucks. So let's go kick some heat on and get started. I really need to put like a 110 mini split in this garage, and it would be so nice. Just can't afford one yet. They're like $800, so you know, we got a international build coming, so that's where every bit of my money's going, and every bit of time this winter. But this has to get done first, because this money from this build is going for the travel all. So I'll be broke by the first year, I guarantee you, putting all the money in the travel all. So let's go kick on some heat. Alright, so I'm going to bolt these ends on, and how I prefer to do them is I'm going to put the bolt inside coming out, and the only reason I'm doing that, just because I think it's going to look better in the end. So, got all the grade 8 hardware it comes with this kit. It's got nylock nuts on it. Let's take that back off. Don't forget your washer. Another washer. Nylock. And never do one bolt at a time. What I mean by one bolt at a time is don't do one bolt, tighten the fire out of it, and then do the other bolt. You know, well, if you get one bolt going and you tighten the fire out of it, you're not going to get the other bolts on. So you got to do individual. You don't want to do individual. You want to do every single one of them. Did that. Try out the washer again. Keep reminding yourself, don't forget the washer. I put the motor in the truck the other day and I completely forgot that I didn't pull the studs out of the broken studs, exhaust manifold studs out. So guess what I got to do now? Now I got to lean over the truck after I get the motor completely bolted in and put the friggin' studs in. So yay. Not a yay, but you know, yay. But these are just some 19s and we just zip them in. Start with this far one and get to it pretty easy. Get on there. Okay. Now, just got to do the rest of them and the other side. Don't worry, them grade 8 bolts and nuts and washers and them ends didn't make that thing heavy at all. Yeah, right. It's still pretty light. It's freaking heavy. But let's get a jack stand under here and we'll see if we can't, you know, muscle it up in there. I'm weak. Let's get it under there though. Alright, so what you really couldn't tell over there is if I put the mount, which is this piece, in the back hole here on the frame, back hole, it'll actually be a little bit more adjustment and fit better onto the trans mount. But the bolt holes don't line up, of course. So I'm going to bolt this side. I'm actually going to bolt it in wrong because I'm going to bolt it on the bottom. And the reason I'm bolting it in on the bottom is so I can drill my hole the other side. Actually, you can see how far off. So I've got to drill a new hole on the top and bottom, which the top is going to suck because, again, it's up here. They don't make drill bits that long. Well, they do. I don't have one. So I'll have to put one at a severe angle and get it up in there. And, of course, these are adjustable in and out. So I don't have to be, like, super precise. So, yeah, let the fun begin. So here's the dilemma I'm facing now. This is actually shorter this way than the actual frame. This drill bit might work enough to get a starting hole. It's not a very good drill bit. But the only one I have that's big enough to go all the way through and drill an actual hole is this one. Now this one is about the size of this right here, and it's about an 1/8 inch bigger than that is. Focus, there we go. See, well, maybe not exactly an eighth, but close. And that's the only bit I got that's long enough that I could put through, you know, both parts of the frame to drill it. So these two holes on this side might need to be a little bit bigger to actually drill the holes in the frame for the bolts and everything. The bolts are going to be a little loose, but I think it'll be fine. These ones will be tight. These ones will be loose. Not loose, but, you know, it'll be a little bit wider. I think it'll still nut down real good and fine. Once I put the, you know, cross member in, it'll pull everything out and together to where it's a good tight fit. So it's my only option. It's just going to have to be bigger. Alright, hold on, I'm stop blocking your hair, but just got done tightening up these bolts, and I put the two trans mount bolts in. That means the motor is officially bolted in. Oh god, cut the fire out of my arm on that exhaust, but it's in. I can put it on the ground now. Oh, thank god. Let me get out of here before I fall down. Yeah. Boy. Whew. That sucked. But yeah, that's exactly how she's going to sit now. She sits pretty good. Motor mounts are bolted in tight. Yeah, it's in there now. Whew. That was tough putting that trans cross member in. There's just not a lot of room to work, and I got some battle scars. Focus on my scar. There we go. Yeah, but anyway, that's in. I'm gonna set her down now. Let me make sure my drill and stuff's out of there. Yeah, the broom's fine. Go to this side. Jack stands out. Yeah, okay. We can set her down here if I can do this one-handed. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Oh, snap. Why does it feel like that thing's lower now? And a lot meaner. Oh, it's a lot meaner. Oh, she's a lot meaner now. Look at that. Oh. Alright, I gotta get some pictures. Call it tonight. So now that the tough part's done, which is mounting the motor in, the other stuff can go pretty fast. One thing that's really worrying me is going to be the headers, if they fit, because they're eBay headers. They're no brand. I told them to get Speed Engineering headers because I've used them, and everybody I know's used them, and they've never had a fitment issue, but they haven't built a C10. Mine's actually in a Caprice outside, and that is got C10 swap headers on it because it fits the frame really well. Now, another thing that I really have to figure out is the mounting and everything of like this intake. It's got square ports, but they said they're also cathedral, like it's either or, which, I mean, it looks like the injectors go straight down into the cathedral, so that's a good thing. I don't have a gasket or nothing. It's just sitting there because I want to get the rest of the accessories on first, because I haven't decided if I want this black or orange. I think the orange, if it's not too much, will flow good off the firewall into the intake. You know, it'll sort of look like, you know, the show cars where they got the nice rolled fenders and covers and everything. It'll sort of just roll into it, look real clean if it's orange. And then leave the throttle body black. It's going to have black valve covers that say Chevy on them. They're like, they hide the coils. You know, that stuff. So, I don't know yet. But I do need to strip that bracket, get it clean and painted. I need to strip, what else? I need to see if I got 2 coil packs on the shelf. Bolt all that on after it dries. So that's going to be a lot of today is cleaning. And then I need to pull the welder over and pull that one. I might be able to get that one with a pair of pliers. It's like this long under there. This one in the front I can probably get too. But that back one back there is actually broke off into the head quite a bit. So it's going to be a lot harder to get anything welded on there without destroying them threads. So fun. This is the temperature gauge that was in the truck for the small block. I'm going to try to use it again, but on the passenger side. And what else is there that I need to reuse? The oil pressure. That's getting used, so I'll have to pull the oil sending unit out of the back of this, which is a electronic sending unit, and this one's going to be manual. So, no big deal. I will have to clean that stuff up a little bit. It's a little scratched from where I had to put the engine in. The firewall wasn't from me. It was clearly already scratched, so we will have to figure out a throttle pedal. Drive shaft will have to be cut. I'll have to run all of the harness. Man, I just noticed that's a lot of gap back there. This motor don't go back any further. It's literally all the way back. So, I don't like that. I wish it was back probably about this front of this pulley. I wish it was about here, really. But it'll probably still work. You know, it'll fit for sure. I just wished it was a little bit more tucked back against that firewall. But hey, it's going to make it a lot easier to get pedals and stuff in. I do have to figure out the shift linkage still. If you can look down there. It kinda is where it needs to be, but not really. And I think I might have shifted it out of gear. So I'll have to look into this a little bit before anything major is done. But yeah, let's get busy. Let's start with cleaning this. Or should I say stripping it, then cleaning it. I'll have to go get some more oven cleaner. Clean it off real good. Prime it. Paint it. Coils after that. But let's get busy. So really there hasn't been much to film today. I've got the water pump on, the bracket, or the tensioner pulleys on. I have the alternator and power steering bracket outside in paint, and its bolts over there. Yeah, but it's just been slow moving because it's, you know, you're cleaning, you're scrubbing, you're priming, you're painting. It's nothing special. So I've just been hitting it, just getting it done. Now, I extracted the front bolt from this side. I pulled it out. It came out easy. This one actually broke again. Now I'm going to have to weld a nut on it. And this side too. I'll have to weld a nut on this side, on that far back one. But no big deal. Intake's not on. I have to pull that oil pressure still. Yeah, it looks great in my opinion so far. Oh, where are they at? Let me see if I can't find them real quick. I'll show you a thing that I actually designed and made. It might be in the house. Hold on one second. I'll be back. Found them. So I actually sort of designed and had these things made. Kind of patented them too. But these screw on to the front of your water pump. So in this case, it'll probably get a Chevy one. Well, I'll ask the owner. But this hides that ugly thread that there's nothing for. Screws all the way on and covers up them threads, so that way you don't have to have, you know, that ugly thread on there. But I usually charge like 20 bucks a pop for these. I'm running low. I'm gonna have to get some more made. Yeah, I got a box of 50 of them, and this is what's left. So there's a lot of people that like them. I actually had some GMC ones made, some LSX, some Chevy, and I had 2 custom ones made. I don't know if my other one's in here, but for the Travelall, there it is. For the Travelall, I had a special International Harvester one made. So that's going to go, well, I already got one on it. I had 2 of them made, but that's going to go, it's already on the front of the water pump for the Travelall build. So that'll be awesome. But yeah, I'm going to paint one of these up. Of course, I'll probably do orange with a black Chevy logo, or LSXs are going to be pretty hard to paint anything on, unless I just, these I could probably paint orange and then use a piece of sandpaper to sand back, because that is actually the gray plastic. So, but yeah, see which one he wants and put it on here after I get it painted too. So awesome. All right, so while looking at this and thinking about the harness, all right, where a lot of this harness is, like over here is your temp and oil pressure, and then literally nothing on this harness, and a ground wire that, again, it goes to nothing now. So I guess I just delete it. And what I'm thinking about doing is taking all of the harness through that hole and mounting the computer and the fuse block inside the cab, because I absolutely hate when people mount computers and fuse panels and everything on a classic truck outside here. Now you can, there's no, you know, they're weatherproof, it ain't gonna hurt nothing, but it looks so tacky. This is supposed to look like this. Like, you should barely see any wiring. In my opinion, I'm probably going to do away with a lot of this wiring too. The only thing that's really going to come through there is going to be the oil pressure, the temp. I'm not even sure if the temp comes through there, actually, now that I think about it. Where's that temp plug? Nope, temp comes through the floor. How many holes are in this firewall? But yeah, like, won't need any of this. This should be the only wire I need, which is the trigger wire for the starter. I don't think I even need the yellow wire. This harness, I don't need anything but this one for the alternator. And I don't even technically need that one. I like to do a big 3 upgrade, of course, which is put the, you know, 0 gauge wire from there to the alternator, from the alternator to the battery. And then put a 0 gauge wire from the head probably to that bolt right there. Or, I mean, I got plenty of room. I can drill a hole and put a bolt and a nut on this side to where it's a little bit cleaner, because your ground is usually over here. Your power and everything is usually over here. But on all the classics, it's over here. So, I mean, that's how I like to do it. And that's probably how it's going to get done. But, anywho, that's probably it for today. I got to go work on a young guy's hot rod tomorrow, rat rod. Try to help him get it started and running better. But as for now, I think I got the wiring basically figured out as far as what I want to get rid of. And the only thing I really haven't figured out yet is the throttle. Because there's supposed to be a bracket. Well, there is a bracket on the factory intake that holds the factory throttle cable. See this? It holds the factory throttle cable. Well, this new intake and throttle body doesn't have that. There's no mounts. And there's only the throttle body. So, what keeps it from pulling backwards? Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know how they intended these aftermarket sheet metal intakes to work what throttle. So I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, tomorrow I got a lot to do. And it's going to start getting quicker, because things are going to be like, okay, once that bracket's dry tomorrow, I can put power steering, alternator, then I can start working on pulling the bolts out of the heads, putting the headers on, see how they fit, if they fit. I can probably do that real quick, actually. Then it's going to start going real quick. I mean, harness, computer, or harness, coils, fuel pump, fuel lines. God, and then it's pretty much ready to fire. Yeah, just as soon as I get all the plumbing stuff figured out. We haven't received the fuel lines yet. They're coming. We ordered them for eBay. So we're still waiting on them. They should be here probably next week. The aftermarket valve covers will probably be here next week. I hope it don't hit over here now that I look at it. Yeah, but throttle, shifting, plumbing, put together, run. Drive shaft. Yeah, I can't forget the drive shaft. You know, radiator and stuff like that, that's just literally buttoning stuff up. That ain't no big deal. Other than that, it's going to start bulking out now. This was the hard part. Putting it in. Getting the old one out. Making sure everything fit right. If I was you and you're doing this, whack that lip right there with a hammer and fold it up. Get it out of your way. It's just going to help. It's going to look a lot cleaner. But other than that, it goes in pretty simple. It fits real nice. And we're talking, you know, La Chupacabra in here. This thing's going to be crazy. But I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, so I'm just doing the basic, you know, rebuild stuff now. Got the bracket on. I can still slip the power steering in there after I unbolt the things. Telling the owner, you know, you got 2 broken coils now. So we had to order 2 coils. Tell them to get TR55 plugs, which is the best plugs you can run in an LS. Gonna need some plug wires, an oil change. I just remembered we're also going to need some radiator hoses, which are going to be a little bit fun because this one's going to be like swoop and in, like that quick, swoop and in. I got to get some trans lines. I might, I can't remake those because they have these weird, where are the trans lines? Oh, they're outside. Oh, they must have got picked up. Hopefully they didn't take them far. Oh, right here, they're okay. So they got these weird ends on them that just snap over the clips. So I'll probably have to use those, cut them, flare the back side, and get some hose to run up and then to the original, or not the original, but the new aftermarket radiator. I did see this does come with the electric fan harness, so I'm going to have to put them in the right pins so that way it, you know, produces fan. But it's a good thing because it's separate, so I can tuck it and hide it wherever. That's my tuck and hide wherever to get it in here. But yeah, I'm just doing basic stuff right now. Nothing I'm really going to bore you with filming, you know. I do still have to extract these bolts. I am sort of, you know, around that situation. But I'm going to get to it here in a minute. Oil pressure, need to hook it up before I put the intake on, because it'll just be a fight if I don't. But he likes the black intake. I like the orange. His truck, so it's going to be black. No big deal. Black valve covers, no big deal. If they don't hit over here, I don't have to worry about them on this side unless they hit the alternator. If they hit the alternator, which probably won't happen, it'll be, you know, suck. But yeah, I extracted this bolt yesterday. It was easy to get out. That other one back there broke again. This one's pretty deep in there. Really wish I would have thought ahead and pulled it beforehand, but now I'm in that situation. It is what it is. Radiator hoses are going to be a thing where it's just going to be like, I'm going to have to go to the parts store with a coat hanger that I bent to kind of match the shape and make it fit. Now, what sucks is he ordered this aluminum radiator, and I don't think he ordered it specifically for an LS swap. So instead of the upper and lower being on this side, the upper's over here. Which means, yeah, it's going to have to go like straight 90 over, loop back. It is what it is. You know, we'll find something, of course. If I have to cut something and make something, I'll make it. but it is what it is. I test fit this side header last night. Plenty of clearance. Ain't gonna be a problem. The other side, again, it's if this side fits, that side will fit too. Easy. I love these ones they have from eBay. I don't generally like eBay headers unless they're name brand like Speed Engineering. But these ones actually came with the V-band. I love the V-band on these. Awesome. You know, it works great. Comes with them. You don't have to buy anything separate. That one is mangled. But yeah, the exhaust will be fine. No problem there. Yeah, just, you know, going through the motions now. Still have to pull the fuel pump out of here. Or shall I say, I have to pull the fuel mechanism out. Turn it into a fuel pump. Which is going to be a little iffy because I need to make sure it seals back. And that I can get it through the hole in the tank. So, that'll be coming up later though. For now, this is pretty much it for the night. I'm going to probably pull the welder over here and try to extract these bolts. But this will be it for the weekend too, because I need to edit this video, which you'll see this on week 3 or 4. I don't know what week we're on this certain one. I think it's 3. But I'm hopefully by a week or 2, it should be running. I'm waiting on parts too. The valve covers won't be here till probably Monday. Waiting on the fuel setup. I ordered the Corvette returnless, so gotta wait on that. With this only having one fuel line, you're going to want to run a Corvette style setup. I don't know about the throttle linkage yet. I'm sort of in the dark on that one. And I don't know about the shift linkage yet. Sort of in the dark on that one. But those things will be easy peasy. We just got to put it all together now. Drive shaft, wiring harness. Put the intake on, headers, radiator, hoses and lines, wiring, you know, wire it up and hook up any gauges that we're going to get to work, because, you know, unless you run an aftermarket gauge set, you're not going to get your speedo and stuff to work on the factory setup. Anywho, it's going pretty good.